Hi, I'm a consular officer in U.S. Embassy Nairobi, and you're watching this because you or someone you know is interested in the diversity visa program. The U.S. government has recently announced the requirements for the DV program, and it's open now to apply until November 5th, 2019. Entries received after this date will not be accepted. So, what is the diversity visa program? Many people call it the lottery visa, but its official name is DV, or diversity visa. And DV recipients are a class of immigrants known as diversity immigrants. Basically, people from countries with historically low rates of immigration to the United States are eligible for this program to apply. Now, I'd like to talk to you about the program and its requirements. I understand it gets very deep in the weeds as far as legal terms and stuff, so I'm going to just give a general overview, try to make this a brief conversation. And I prefer not to have to use notes, but there are some legal requirements, so I'm going to read from this piece of paper as little as I need to, but it's necessary. First of all, I'd like to talk to you about the eligibility requirements. Please know that all DV 2021 lottery entries must be submitted electronically at dvlottery.state.gov. And we're going to go to that webpage here later in this presentation. We'll also showcase the instructions, answers to some frequently asked questions, and the websites for travel.state.gov. The Department of State determines the selectees through a randomized computer drawing. They are selected from the eligible pool of applicants from that DV Lottery website I earlier mentioned between now and November 5th, 2019. Secondly, I want to mention the eligibility requirements for the program. There really are only two. One, you must be born in a country whose natives qualify for the program. For us, that's those who are born in Kenya may qualify. Most individuals born in Africa may qualify, as most countries in Africa have natives eligible for the program. Now, if you are not born in Kenya, if you are not born in these countries in Africa, you still might qualify by a spousal or parental relationship. Please see the link below that we'll showcase on the later presentation for the frequently asked questions about how you may qualify that route. And secondly, you need to meet the eligibility requirements of education and/or work experience. The primary entrant, but not all entrants necessarily, must have either a high school education or its equivalent, or two years of work experience within the past 5 years in an occupation that requires a certain level of expertise or training. Again, please see our frequently asked questions at the later websites to detail if you may qualify by education or by work experience. Some other things to keep in mind is individuals with more than one entry in this period will be disqualified. There's also no cost to submit an entry form. This is completely free. Also, the United States government will not accept incomplete DV entries. So with that said, I want to talk to you about what makes a complete diversity visa entry. And it's a pretty standard list, but first of all, when you apply, you must list your name, first, last, middle name, exactly as it appears on your passport. You must list your gender, your birthday, the city in which you were born, the country where you were born. These are all very straightforward and easy things. But also you need to list, and this is new for 2021 diversity visa applications, the passport number, country of issuance, and expiration date of the principal applicants, the principal entrants, valid, unexpired passport. This requirement applies only to the principal applicant, not to his or her dependents. So that means that you must have a valid passport when you are applying for Diversity Visa 2021. Additionally, you must submit a recent photograph for all applicants, all entrants. This photograph must have been taken in the last 6 months, and we'll talk about the photo requirements later in the presentation. Other things are pretty much straightforward. Know your mailing address, list your phone number if you have it, list your email address. Be ready to talk about your highest level of education that you've achieved as of the date of entry. Again, see the frequently asked questions for more information about these things. You need to state your current marital status, current as of the time of entry. And this includes, even if you are married but separated, but still legally married, listing your spouse. Okay? Failure to list your spouse or someone who is not your spouse, failure to list the spouse or listing someone who's not your spouse, just like failure to list your children or someone else's children, will disqualify you from the diversity visa program. So you need to list your household as it legally stands. For all of this, we strongly encourage you to complete the entry form yourself without a visa consultant, visa agent, or other facilitator who offers to help. If someone helps you, you should be the one present who is prepared to know the details and the correct answers to your application, and retain the confirmation number and page of your application, so you and you alone have access to your application, and so that you may later access it to know the status of your application. Again, you must provide all this information to complete your entry. Failure to accurately include all the required information will unfortunately, but necessarily, result in mandatory disqualification of your entry. Apply only when you are ready and have this information, but again, you must apply before the deadline of this November 5th, 2019. With that said, I'm now going to turn to a brief PowerPoint presentation we have, which details some of our websites and also our frequently asked questions. Also, since this is a Facebook Live, please submit your questions as we're having this conversation, and we'll try to get to them either today or the next couple of days to answer these questions. So first things first, I want to show you a screenshot of travel.state.gov, which really does a good job highlighting the program requirements for the Diversity Visa program. If you are on this page, you will see in the left-hand column the Diversity Visa instructions. If you click on that, you can get to a page which basically has a lot of the information I've read to you earlier here today, along with some more detailed instructions. If you go to dvlottery.state.gov, that is where you apply. It's also where you check your DV status. It's a very straightforward page. At the top, you see the entry instructions, many of the things I've already read to you here this afternoon. You see instructions for how to upload a photo and its requirements. You see frequently asked questions, and you also see a tab for checking your status. So again, travel.state.gov and dvlottery.state.gov are your two main websites for information on this and how to apply. Lastly and briefly, we're going to talk about some frequently asked questions, because we submitted a notice for this Facebook Live last Friday, and since that time we've received many questions. Many people have asked, what if I do not have a passport or my passport is expired? May I apply? And again, as I said earlier in the conversation, the principal applicant must have a valid and unexpired passport at the time of entry. This requirement applies only to the principal applicant, not to dependents, but it must be valid when applying before November 5th. Another good question is about the photo requirements, and honestly, this is a very detailed slide. I don't like to put a lot of wording on a slide, but it does have to meet JPEG requirements, size requirements, pixelation requirements, so forth. It's basically like a standard visa application photo or passport photo. For more information about the photos, go to travel.state.gov and click on the diversity visa instructions. There's actually a photo upload help assistant there, which will get you a high-quality photo for your application if need be. There were many questions also about minimum age to apply. There is no minimum age, but as said, you must meet education or work requirements. Therefore, most people under the age of 18 will unfortunately and therefore not be eligible for the program. And as I mentioned earlier, should an applicant include their spouse and children in the application? And the answer is emphatically yes. As a consular officer, we see many times where applicants do not include all pre-existing derivatives, all spouses and children at the time of their application. Now, life happens. You might get married after you apply. You might have children after you apply. You might need to update your application. That's perfectly fine. But if you are married at the time you apply, or you have children who qualify possibly by age at the time you apply, then you must include them. Failure to include them, or including someone else's spouse, I'm not sure why you would do that, or someone else's children, will disqualify you. So please make sure you put correct and full information. So that's really our frequently asked questions. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you apply and ask us some questions later on today or tomorrow, and we'll hope to get back to you with some answers. Thank you. How many minutes was that?